Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Teddy. I'm back here with another object-based or object-oriented programming assignment, specifically for my object-oriented programming class. Um, this is, I believe, Project 5. Sorry, I just had to make sure. So basically, we are tasked in this assignment with, you know, generating or proving the concepts rather of how collections and a collection is used, specifically within the Java environment. What this before we begin, just to go over a bit of what this is going to do. Uh, the inputs, what basically is going to happen is we're going to ask a user for 8 words. The words cannot be repeated, um, but it's going to ask them 8, and then it's going to ask them if they want to search for a word. Basically, what this is going to do is once the user puts in those 8 words, it's going to sort them, and then it's going to unsort them. It's the whole process of sorting and unsorting to verify we're able to demonstrate those properties or mastery of those skills. All right, so we're going to get into this here. Um, we've got our public static voids. We got our import of the Java utility so we can make this work properly. This is the section where it gets the user's input. I specified here this is where they put in the 8 words. The first time I ran this, I made the mistake of having it say that there was a repeated word, but still allowed them to proceed through. So I went through and fixed that of it. So now what it should do is if somebody inputs a repeated word, and we'll get to this later when I get to that portion of it. But if it detects a repeated word, it will not proceed until you give a unique word, or the user rather gives a unique word. So let's say you put September back to back, so you put September as a third and fourth words. It's not going to allow you to proceed to the fifth word until you put in a valid fourth word. And before elsewise we get over the code, there is a section over here that we had to cite, so I am going to go over this briefly. Uh, According to Java's own website, the differences of a collection and collections is that a collection is an interface that Java uses that defines some of its basic operations that can be performed. Um, it's the root interface for many things, as it's mentioned here: list, set, and queue. Um, and then it has specific common methods everybody use, like adding, removing, and accessing elements. So let's say you need to add an element to any kind of line of coding. uh, you know it would be essentially what you would access to modify and create new ones and or edit old ones that already exist. It's just kind of that blueprint. I made sure to specify that here. Uh, so yeah, collections now they are a group of a collection or group of interfaces. It's a utility class that provides static methods for the operation of the collections. It provides methods specifically for sorting, searching, shuffling, stuff of that nature. It also follows a blueprint that, or rather, it acts as a blueprint for Java itself to. It acts as a blueprint more or less for Java to follow these steps when you run your code. Let's say if you are trying to make a collection or collections rather, um, these act as like the blueprints that the system can go to and read to understand and interpret that data, and provide whatever it is output that you are trying to do. Um, yeah, and the class, as we obviously know, that's the blueprint for creating objects. It defines what data fields and behaviors are there, aka fields and methods. It will define what, if any, what classes have those things. It also specifies the set methods that they must use if it wanted to be implemented into the interface itself. All right, and for those curious, I took these direct sources from Oracle's own website. As you can see here, we have an interface collection. And as you can see here, we have class collections. So these are cited at the bottom of my document. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the actual running of the code so we can see what's going on underneath the hood here, make sure everything's working properly. As you can see here, we are being asked as the user for word 1, so bear with me here. We're going to walk through some steps, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what exactly happens if a user tries to input a duplicate word. So let's say September is the first word that I mentioned, right? Okay, now let's enter it again, see what happens. Okay, duplicate entry. Please use a different word. Let's try it again and see how much we can push it through. And one more time, just for effect. Boom. As you can see here, 3 separate times, it does say that September is a duplicate word. It correctly identifies and flags it as such. But September, however, is still saved as the first word. We'll get to that a bit later, but let's go ahead and enter in the rest of the words. So the words I'm actually going to use is September Sky is my favorite song, and then we'll add words from there if it doesn't match by Earth. I'm going to say EW. Earth, Wind, and Fire. We all know who they are. September Sky is a beautiful song. LOL. So I'm going to go ahead and put in EWF as an abbreviation for it. I know it's multiple words. I don't want to confuse the system, but we're just going to go ahead and put it in here. And as you can see here, it has an initial list. It put it in the exact order as I put it. It lets you know that there is a total of 8 entries. It lets you know what the longest one is, because some people like to know what their shortest and longest words are. Then it sorts it alphabetically. Then it sorts it by character length. It randomly shuffles it. And now let's say we're looking for sky, and how many times it was used. As you can see, there's no frequency because it's not more than once. As you can see here, after they replaced it, you can see more shuffling of the list. Here's where it is converted to the array, and here's where the array is converted back to that list. And as you can see correctly here, the code works properly because we are finished with an exit code 0. All right, guys, that is my this is my project for Module 5. Yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day.